Hearing that always makes me want to have popcorn, by the way. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Fusion Pod.
I know. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I had fun making it. But, of course, this is Janine, a.k.a. DJ Eternal Eyes. And we have our guest, Estella Dawn, for Estella Dawn Music. And as everybody knows, this is produced and presented by Fusion Radio. So we're all connected. All right. So as I said, we do have Miss Estella Dawn with us. So we're gonna have, of course, some questions. She's gonna give us some insight and go from there. Have fun. Right?
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Now, of course, in regards to music, when did you start loving music? Like when you saw yourself like, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
I think I started out, so my dad's a musician. He is a songwriter. He plays guitar. He's a really great singer. And so I grew up in a somewhat musical family. And I've always just, I know it sounds weird, but I've just always kind of done it. Like I remember he taught me a couple of chords on the guitar and I just started writing songs. I think it was my way of kind of processing things in my life, sort of like therapy. And from then, it wasn't necessarily that I decided that it was like what I wanted to do. It was more just, I couldn't not do it. I just wanted to keep creating and keep pushing myself to do different things. And I just haven't stopped.
That's always a good thing. I feel the same when I've written my poetry, and then of course now I'm doing all this. So I understand.
Oh, I love that you write poetry. I love poetry.
I actually have a DeviantArt page, so which is actually.
Really? Oh, please send me the link after.
I will definitely. Because I do love my poetry. I miss writing it. I need to get back into it.
Yes, I'd love to read it.
Yeah. Now with starting your own like music, Estella Dawn Music, when did that happen?
It was a little bit more recently. So I started a production company with two other people, Queenie and Dave, and they work in like kind of different elements of it. But kind of the start of this year, we decided to really amp things up. And so we've done a release, I think, every 6 weeks since the start of the year. It's been like 10 songs.
Nice.
And then it's kind of just growing from there, I think. Like I used to release music under my my surname. And so Dawn is my middle name. I just decided it was time. So probably in the start of this year is probably when I've really, but I did release music a little bit before then, so a couple of years ago. Yeah.
So what is your birth name, I guess I should say? Your
Estella Dawn McGee.
Oh, okay. That's pretty though.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. It's Estella Dawn Music. Yeah. It's always nice when you have that name that works perfectly for it.
I really like it. And I was like, my mom's last name is Winnie and my dad's last name is McGee. And I was like, if I pick either of theirs, they're going to be upset. So I just figured going with Dawn kind of was the least,
True. It's still your name. Because I know some people, they'll like reinvent their name altogether. And it's like, well, okay, that's cool too. But to know that it is actually part of your name is even more exciting. Because it is really like, pretty.
Easier,
Yes, definitely. You're welcome. All right. So out of the instruments you've played before, what would be your favorite instrument?
I think probably piano. I mean, I played piano the longest, so I got lessons. I was classically trained when I started around 8, I believe, 8 or 9. and I've kind of been playing that ever since. And I play guitar, but not super well. Like I know my way around it, but I'm not
Yeah.
shredding, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I totally understand that.
Um,
I could never do instruments myself. I was
mhm.
always like my sisters, they did like orchestra instruments. My
Uh-huh.
sister Elise did violin, Diana did the flute
Mhm.
for band, and I was the one in
Oh,
choir.
cool.
So
Choir's great.
I love choir. I love to sing, but of course,
Yeah.
gosh, it's been so long, I don't know where I'm at.
Mhm.
But
I'm
singing,
sure
I
you're doing
think
great.
oh, thank you. But I think like your voice is amazing. Like I went ahead
Oh,
and I
thank
don't know
you.
if you saw on our website for the Indie Artist of the Month, I used your spooky
Mhm.
one because I thought it was perfect for
Yes,
October.
I saw
Yeah.
that. Thank
But I
you.
mean, all the music you came out with, I thought was amazing. But I was like, this one's perfect.
Oh,
So,
you're too sweet. Thank you.
oh, you're welcome. Um,
But in terms of instruments, probably singing. I mean, the voice is an instrument, right?
oh
I
yeah,
would,
definitely.
yeah, I would say that's probably my favorite and the one that I use the most often or
Mhm.
play the most often.
Yeah, I do too. When I get to.
Yeah.
um, Now, let's see. In regards to music and everything, do you have a story,
Mhm.
like maybe a funny or a more inspirational story towards your music?
Ooh. Um, no, I
It's
mean,
okay.
no. No, I mean,
Yeah, sometimes
I
people
had
don't.
like, I mean, the one thing that I
Mhm.
that I think I can attribute anything to is just not giving up. I think with
Oh,
music, like when every song that I put out, every time you get, in my opinion, kind of like better or you learn more. And I think that my inspirational part is just don't quit
oh, I agree on
ever.
that. Yeah, because I admit
Um,
even with the DJing I do and this,
mhm,
sometimes I'm like, I have those off days, and I'm like,
mhm.
"Ugh," but then I'm like, "No, I love this. This is my passion. I'm gonna keep going."
Exactly. Like when you love something, you have to just
Mhm,
work at it and fight for it and pursue
mhm.
it with as much passion as you can.
Oh,
It can
yeah.
be hard sometimes, but I
Mhm.
think it's worth it.
Well, especially now with the pandemic, it's kinda like you're gonna
Uh,
have those moments more. I mean, I feel
oh,
I
for
don't know about
sure.
you, it's like it inspires you, but at the same time, like, you're kinda like, "Ugh," like, I
100%. Well,
wanna
I
go
think
out.
especially yeah, I think especially with live music, like I really love performing, but I'm sitting here like, when are we going to be able to do that again? Which I know
Yeah,
is like it's a non-issue in relation to a lot of the other things that people are dealing with. There are many ways you can do live. It's not quite the same
yeah.
though, I think, as like really sitting down in front of people and connecting like that. But I think there is a lot of uncertainty for musicians, especially in this kind of climate. But
Yeah, I
hopefully
know.
things get
Yeah.
better.
I do well, I'm hoping 2021 things will turn around myself, because
I know.
I usually do also conventions, and I've been wanting to go to concerts for some of the other indie
Uh-huh.
artists, I love to help promote, be like, "I'm right
Hmm.
here." But honestly, it's like I'm glad that some have been able to at least do online concerts, because that's at least something better
Sure,
than
for sure.
nothing. But I know it can be hard too
Oh my
because you have
God,
to
yeah.
have that space, you still have to, have people
Hmm.
helping you out. So it's one of those
For
where
sure.
every day is gonna be like, what's gonna happen, take it day by day and go from there.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
as I said, hopefully things
For
will turn
sure.
around by 2021 because I'm praying.
Yes.
It's one of those like, please.
I know. I think everybody is at this point. We're all like I'm really introverted, and all I want to do is like hug a stranger. I just want to go
Oh,
outside
yeah.
and just hug someone on the street. It's too
Oh,
much time
yeah.
alone.
Yep, miss going places too.
Yeah.
as I said, me and my husband do conventions. So like,
Mhm. I've never
cosplay.
been to a convention, but I really want to go to one.
Oh
Hopefully.
my God, so much fun. And actually there are some musicians that have a table,
Hmm.
um, at conventions and they help promote their stuff. Now I will warn you, I am a geek. Me and my husband, we have I don't know if you know Star Trek. We're part of Starfleet International Fan Association, and we have our own ship
Cool.
part of it. So we like go to conventions nearby with our ship to help,
Uh-huh.
introduce people. So that's
That's
one thing we
awesome.
do. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, as I said, I've
Hmm.
Bella Morte, that's one. They have tables usually
Hmm.
at some conventions, and I met them.
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember which. I think it was the one in Virginia. And I
Hmm.
can't remember the name, but you meet a lot of great people at conventions, honestly.
Hmm.
And I
For
totally
sure.
recommend checking them out when you get a chance. Well, when we're able to go places again.
Yeah, it's like as soon as the
When,
pandemic's done, I'm there.
right? And I
That's
don't know what
awesome.
Colorado has in your area, but um, I've been to Colorado once. It was,
Hmm.
oh, what is it called? It was a vacation spot, and I was like
Was it
12 years
like
old.
Aspen?
No, um,
Was it up in the mountains?
it was in the mountains, yeah.
Colorado
But
Springs.
I think it was Colorado Springs, Colorado. But it was there's a vacation.
Hmm.
Shoot, what is their name? Oh my gosh. You know how there's like name like vacation spots, like Sandals has
Hmm.
their thing, and then this one was something else, and it does a lot of
Hmm.
family stuff. I'm trying to remember offhand in my head.
Hmm.
Um, I know my mom would be like, "You should know this," if she was here.
It's always when you like need it though. It's right in there, and then in like
Right.
5 minutes you'll remember.
Vacation companies. I guess that's what it is. Vacation company. I don't know. I don't know. It's like we it was a family thing and we were there for April
Hmm.
Fool's Day and that was hilarious.
Hmm.
But like I learned how to ski with just doing this. We didn't have the poles because we were too young.
Uh,
And yes, skiing is dangerous.
it's really. I mean, I've actually
Oh
never
my
done it because
god.
I'm terrified of going downhill quickly. But it
Yeah.
looks terrifying.
You gotta be really good at it, I think, because my sister at least went over
Hmm.
this little hill and I came after and I didn't know she fell and I tripped over her and fell. And it was like, oh my god.
A pile of
Yeah,
pain.
it was a pile. Yeah, and we weren't ready. We were too young, I think,
Yeah.
to go. It was kind of one of those not huge, but a good sized mountain that we tried.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, so I've been to Colorado before. Never New Zealand, even though New
Hmm.
Zealand looks beautiful. Like, and as
It's
you said,
really
you're from
beautiful. It's just really far away, you know?
yeah,
It's really
especially
far
from
away and
here.
it's pretty expensive to get there.
I'd have to win the lottery, and then I'd be like, okay, I'll go to Ireland, New Zealand. I
Hmm.
have a list.
Hmm.
So when did you move
All the green
from
places.
yeah, when did you move from New Zealand to
I
Colorado?
I moved 4 years ago.
Okay.
I think four. Yeah, just a little over four. So not. So, I mean, it flies. It feels like I've been here for like a month, and sometimes, and then other times
Yeah,
it feels like I've been here for 10 years. But I
been
really
there for
like
half.
it. Colorado is really pretty.
Yeah. Do you like snow? Do you like the snow when it comes down?
It's actually currently snowing.
Oh wow. I think it's too early for snow, me personally, but
I know. It is too early. I like the snow. It was definitely novel because I had never grown up with snow. So the first snow that I had been in, I was like out there rolling around in it, just really enjoying it. And now that I've
Yeah.
kind of gotten used to it, I could give or take,
No, I
it makes
totally
everything look
understand.
very like pristine.
Yeah,
But
before
it
I
gets
moved to
cold, so.
Yeah, before I moved to North Carolina, I'm originally from New Jersey,
Mhm.
but I moved to North
Oh,
Carolina
cool.
when I was 12 going on 13, and I don't miss the
Mhm.
snow because to me it was way too cold. It was, and also when you're playing in it, I mean, when you're younger, playing in it is
Mhm.
fun, but I remember also getting like wet and getting really
Mhm.
cold, and I'm like, well, now that I'm older, I don't want that. And North
No, I get it.
Carolina,
I get
we
it.
we don't get as much snow. I mean, when we do, it's like a couple
Mhm.
of days it lasts and then it's gone.
Mhm.
Now, if you
Yeah,
go to
which is
Boone, North
nice.
Carolina, yeah, if you go to Boone, North Carolina, though,
Mhm.
they have snow. They
Right.
like, I
Like
think it
real
already
snow.
yeah, and I dated a guy once in that area, and I remember whenever I would go just for a
Mhm.
weekend, sometimes I'd get stuck there for a week. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, like, I'd have to call work, "I'm sorry, I'm stuck."
Can't get back.
Yeah, and the funny thing is they don't always have snow on the radar, and all of a sudden, boom, it snows, and it's like, "That did not work with my plans."
You get caught unaware. No.
Yeah. But hey, at least snow like, I do
Mm.
admit snow for December, like, Christmas time, if it would just do, like, maybe Christmas Eve to New Year, I'd be good with that. That'd be, like, perfect Christmas
For
snow right
sure.
there. Yeah.
For
It'd be
sure. It was
pretty.
definitely so growing up in New Zealand, um, it's summertime in Christmas.
Yeah.
So moving and you always hear like songs and everything being about it being cold and snowy and like a winter wonderland. And in New
Yeah.
Zealand, we're like in our bikinis, like barbecuing things. And so I have to say, my first like American Christmas with snow was really nice. It has a
Yeah,
different kind of vibe to it.
the music fits perfectly, doesn't it,
Hmm.
now?
For sure.
Yeah, and as I said, even though North Carolina doesn't get as much snow as it used
Hmm.
to, well, it never really got too much, but it still has chilly, cold weather, which fits.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
For sure. Can kind of like
yeah.
snuggle up inside.
Yes, with hot cocoa. I love
Yes.
cocoa. Hot cocoa is
Oh,
awesome.
me too.
Mhm. Now that I think about it, I gotta see when the coldest day is gonna be because 'cause I'm probably gonna be taking out that hot cocoa.
Yep. It's
And left
time.
my yeah, definitely that time of year. Um,
Hmm.
Now, is there anything else with Colorado that you enjoy a lot that you never had in New Zealand?
Ooh, that's a tough one. And it's so different. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
people, the like the elements, the weather. It's all very different. I love 300 days of sunshine in New Zealand, or at least where I'm from. It rains all the time. Like it could be 2 to 3 weeks
yeah.
of constant rain, like torrential downpour, and it gets a little bit depressing.
Oh, I agree.
So I think in terms
Sleep
of
way better. During the rain, I could
yeah,
sleep, especially thunders. I'm like,
I know it's like
"Don't wake me up." The best
no, it's
time
like
to sleep.
cold and just like damp.
Ooh, now
Yep,
this sounds
for
really
sure.
good. Hot cocoa with rum, butterscotch schnapps, and
Ooh,
whipped cream on top. Never had that.
alcoholic cocoa is the best. It's so good.
She's giving me ideas. I'm gonna
Yep.
have to try some new recipes. Even on TikTok, I'm seeing some people like come out with like new cocoa recipes for the cold, and I'm like, I didn't know you could do
Like
that.
crazy flavors.
Yes, and they look
I
so
can get
good.
on board with that for sure.
Yes, definitely. Because sometimes you're
Hmm.
like, same hot cocoa, but you can never really get old of it. But it's like, let's
Yeah.
try something else.
But you can always just like spice it up a little, you can change
Oh
it,
yeah.
which I think is
I like putting a
wonderful.
bunch of marshmallows in mine. I love marshmallows.
Mm. Oh, they're so good.
And now we want
Little
hot cocoa.
pockets of joy.
Yes. Now for for the music, like as I said in the past, you started and when especially you said the past 4 years. Is
Mhm.
there any song that's your favorite right now that you've done?
Ooh, they're all so different. I know
Yeah.
I know that everyone says that, but you know, if you had kids, like, do you love one more than another? Maybe you do. I think it it
Yeah.
depends on the day, I think,
Mhm.
and kind of the mood they're in. I also don't really listen to my own music, so that is,
Mm.
you know, like I love them all and I like made
Yeah.
them all, but once they're out, I'm like, okay, it's done. We're done with it now. Um, but probably, oh, I think probably I Dare You, purely
Mm.
because it was really fun to sing and I wrote it when I was in my own kind of personal low, and it was a
Mm.
reminder to myself to that I was like stronger and more capable than people were giving me credit for. And so it kind of became my own anthem to sing, and that was really therapeutic for me. I was like, you know what? No, I got this. And so that one holds like a little place in my heart that I think maybe more so than the others do. But
No, I
yeah.
totally understand. It's like poetry too. A lot of my really good ones came from personal experience. And
Hmm.
then you just wanted to write it
Hmm.
down, get off your head. I even did one,
Yeah, it's like get it out. Hmm.
yeah, I even did one when I had no ideas, and it's called writer's block, and it was, like, so perfect. I was like, "Yeah, this is what writer's block is."
Hmm.
And so I totally understand, and now
Exactly. But I
I
think that's
have
the beauty of.
yeah, now I have
Mhm.
written one song years ago, but I only know how
Mhm.
to write lyrics, not music.
Uh-huh.
Even though I was in choir and I could
Uh-huh.
sing,
I'm
but with
like,
me,
that's
I
a
hear
really
it.
important part.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've always wanted to get music to it and do something
Mhm.
with it, but I'm like, I got the lyrics and that's where I've been.
No, I get.
So
I
I'm
mean,
like,
on the flip side
yeah,
of that, there are a lot of people that write music or instrumentation and need people to like sing and write the lyrics. I get a lot of DMs from people being like, "Can you sing on this song?" Which is very nice.
mhm,
But I think there's definitely like if you are someone that doesn't have music, there's a lot of people out there that are
yeah.
doing the opposite. So
Well, I
there's still
mean,
time
and
to
if
put
you
out
think
that hit
about it,
single.
and if you think about it too, sometimes that one song, even though you're like, I don't know about taking somebody else's song, but if you read it and it
Hmm.
speaks to you, that
Hmm.
it makes it better to use, I think.
For sure, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, because mine definitely had a meaning behind it. Ex
Yeah.
relationship. Well, kind of relationship, kind of. I had no idea what it was at the time,
Hmm.
so it did like spark something, and I was like, I've
Hmm.
never written a song before. This is kind of cool.
And here it is. I mean,
Yes.
Adele wrote one of her best-selling albums from her like split from her partner, didn't she? So like
True.
it's a great writing, you know, to get that out. And I think it's relationships especially are things that people can relate to more, you know, most people can relate to. So
Yeah. And now I haven't been inspired with the pandemic though. It's so depressing. I don't know if I could write about it. I know some people have, and I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, that's really good, it makes sense." But I'm like, "I don't know. Can't come to me." I think everybody did all that I
Yeah.
was thinking of already. But, I mean, as I said, with everything I've
No.
heard from you is amazing, and I'm like, I wonder what she's gonna come with next."
Oh, thank you.
Have
I really appreciate that.
you been writing recently, especially stuck indoors?
I've yeah. I think I had a lot of kind of half finished songs that I'd already come up with the concept, but I hadn't really fleshed anything out. And so it is just kind of finishing things and putting things together. But I'm planning an album for next year, so I'm kind of getting all the songs ready for that, which I'm really excited about.
Nice.
But you know, it ebbs and flows.
Well, definitely will need some of the music for that and be like, "Here's her new album. Listen."
Thank you.
You're welcome. As I said, I love music, and especially when people are really good. I admit when I was younger, I always thought about singing or acting and stuff like that, but I
Hmm.
think I'm more of the background person, like voiceover maybe I could do, and I help promote people. Hey, here's a
Hmm.
song. I could write a song maybe. But, um, The only
For sure.
time
And
I
I feel like
actually,
that's equally as
yeah,
important, you know, like
oh yeah,
you need people that are doing all different things in every area of life. So I think that anything that you do that you enjoy is beneficial.
oh yeah, and as I said, I know helping to promote is a big thing,
Hmm.
especially as
For
I told you
sure.
before. I've heard people like be like, "What's an indie artist?" and who is
Hmm.
this? And I'm like, "You guys got to listen. You got to hear these
Yeah.
people out." I mean, because there's so much amazing music people are like oblivious to
Oh,
because they go with the
for sure.
mainstream more. And I'm sitting here
Hmm.
going, no, 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 you got to also listen to these indie artists because a lot of them are like, they should be mainstream, in my opinion. So it's
I
one
think
of
too,
those.
there's so much music and there's so much like going on that it can be hard to find things that you like. And so having people that have kind of curated sounds or vibes for you, I think is amazing. Like, because the average person, or at least speaking from my own experience, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. Like, I go onto my Spotify and it plays me things in like realms, things that I've heard before. And I'm like, show me new stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
things that I wouldn't ordinarily think to listen to that I would love. But I think it's hard. So
Yeah.
it's nice when people come in and do that.
Well, as I said, Saturdays is when I do
Mhm.
all that. So if you ever listen in, you could get some ideas.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah. I've also let's see. So Saturday is all indie artists, and I
Hmm.
even introduce them 10 p.m. Eastern till 1 a.m. Eastern Saturday night with the Saturday local vibe, and it's all
Hmm.
throughout the world. I get it from like UK, New
That's
Zealand.
awesome.
Now Carmeria was Australia. So
Yeah, Audies.
I did an interview with them though. It was like 5 p.m. was 3 a.m. my time, and I was like, okay, good. I can still stay up. I could be a night owl. I admit that I'm a night owl. So, but now with your music, let's see. As I said, I enjoyed Spooky and some of the other ones, but I'm trying to think. We already went over what inspires you.
Mhm.
My brain's like remembering what I was thinking. I hate when that happens.
You know, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like I had a
Uh,
train of thought and there it goes.
there you go. Bye bye. Come back. um, okay, with writing music, when you write music, do you have to be
Hmm.
in like a really quiet place, or do you have to have something going on, like background noise? Because I know some people it has to be totally quiet. With me, when I'm inspired, I need some background noise, me
Hmm.
personally. But I know everybody's different.
I think it, yeah, I think it kind of depends. I would say probably silence. Like when I get an idea, there can be stuff going on. And like I'll often get little like melodies or something pop into my head and I'll record them quickly on my phone. But I think when I'm recording them down in like a demo way, it has to be kind of silent because the mic, you know, like if you're singing into the mic and stuff. So I'd
Oh
say
yeah,
like pretty silent. But I think sometimes inspiration strikes in the weirdest places.
yes. I've had a dream I've woke up from and
Mhm.
wrote down a poem before.
That's amazing. I've heard that happens to people.
Yeah,
So
it's been
cool.
a while, but like sometimes I wish there's a machine that could go to your head
Mhm.
and like gives you like a movie version of what you
Oh my
dreamt.
God. Would be
That would,
terrifying.
well, not okay. I have weird dreams, so I may, yeah, it could be, but it also is very like, I feel like it's very inspirational too, because
For sure. For
I
sure.
come up with story ideas, but of course I can never start or
Mhm.
finish a story. The poetry I do better.
Mhm.
Oh, here we go. I have somebody who has a question. What or who inspired you to be a singer? Well, we did say your dad
I
was one.
think
Was there anybody else?
my dad sang. I think it's just always something that I've kind of done. Like I always really looked up to like strong female singers. Like I loved when I was younger Pink and Christina Aguilera and Alanis
Great.
Morissette.
Yes.
And so part of me was like, I will be a diva. And then it's just not my
Yeah.
personality at all.
Oh no, I totally understand. I have pictures of me, like I was in dance a lot, and oh my gosh, I look and
Mhm.
I'm like all these poses. So when you're younger, you're just like, yes, I'm gonna do this. And sometimes it goes that
For
direction,
sure.
sometimes it takes a
For
little
sure.
detour. Yeah, but that's awesome.
For
Yeah.
sure. And I like desperately wanted to be like JoJo or like especially Christina Aguilera. I loved her with all of my I still love her. She's still amazing. And her
Oh yeah.
voice is just incredible. And I, to be honest, wasn't a great singer for like most of my younger life. So I've always like had the same kind of tone that I have, but I had no technique and I didn't really know what I was doing at all. And I think that starting to record real like because you can hear yourself. It's kind of the only
Yes.
way that you hear yourself back.
Mhm.
And so that really helped me, I think, get a lot better at singing because I could hear it and be like, that's not it. And I would do things like 40 or 50 times until it sounded like I wanted it to, until it had the right kind of ring to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still not like, I've still got a long way to go. It's a
I think
never ending thing.
everybody, yeah, I think even professionals, they still wanna improve all the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
Um,
Sure.
and it's funny because when you're saying about hearing yourself, as I said, I do TikToks too, and I
Mhm.
started doing some singing ones, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm pretty good. Like, I was surprised at myself. I'm like, I'm better than I thought. And one of them I did
That's
like
awesome though.
the very first one I did, I kinda just did a spur
Mhm.
of a moment song I put together in my head while I was cooking. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, that kinda worked out too," you know? And I love
Well,
watching
that's
TikTok.
because I
There's
mean,
so
it would be
many
much worse if
creators.
you had
Yeah,
like done it.
I
Yeah.
know, and listen and
If
be
you'd
like,
like done that
"Oh,
and then listen back
no."
and be like, wait, I'm not as good as I thought I was. Like, it's much
I
better
would
that you went
delete
the
it.
opposite way.
Mhm. Yeah, I was like, I would delete it if I listened and I was like, "Ooh, ooh, oh no."
What's going
I
on
think
there?
I think growing up with choir and stuff helped, like, cause as I said, I could hear
Oh
the
my God,
music,
yeah.
so that helps, but some people
Hmm.
can't hear it, they have to read it. I can't read it. I
For
could
sure.
hear it. I was like, "Nope, can't read it." And that's when, and as I was saying with the machine to do the dreams and all that,
Hmm.
sometimes I think
Hmm.
if that just came out, I could be like, "Oh, so this is what happened," you know, and be step-by-step guide right there. Because sometimes you
For
wake up and you're
sure.
like, "I gotta
My
remember this
dreams are
dream," and
so
you can't.
weird.
Mine too. Oh my gosh. I was telling my husband the other day,
Hmm.
I was like,
I
"It
want to
was
say it's like a
weird."
creative imagination. Like, is
Yes, that you could tell, yeah, if you have really vivid dreams like I do, you know you have a creative imagination. Because my last one, I was telling my husband, I was like, "We went to a convention, it was like a Japanese convention, and they were, like, giving out food from Japan
Mhm.
and even their American-inspired ones, like Domino's, but instead of, like, $5 for pizza, it was like, "Here's 10 cents for pizza," and I was like, "That was the
You're like,
weirdest thing."
yes.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, we can afford that," and then all of a sudden, he changed to a different guy, and the different guy who was so-called my husband was not like that. He was more guy, like, always wanted to be with the guys and
Hmm.
all this stuff, and then I was sitting here going, "I want my husband back."
Give
So,
me some thank you, brain.
oh, here's another question from the audience. What is one message you would give to your fans?
Oh, I mean, firstly, I have fans.
Oh, I'm one.
Um,
How would you
thank
say
you.
I'm definitely one?
Um,
You're welcome.
I think I think I would maybe go with what I wish someone had said to me when I was starting out. I don't necessarily think that like every fan is an aspiring musician,
Yeah,
but just that whatever you want to do, pursue that with everything that you've got. Don't stop. Just keep improving. Spend each day trying to be better than, no, don't compare yourself to other people, but
sure.
compare yourself to yourself in a sense.
Mhm.
Like, if you, I think that's the best way to improve at anything that you do is just to try and be the best version of you possible and just keep going.
I agree.
But
Because I agree, because even just starting this stuff up, I was just like, didn't know where to start at first. And then I was like, I'm going to keep plugging. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep going and see what happens. So,
and you make mistakes along the road, you,
yes.
yeah. And I think you learn, and I think if it's something that really fulfills you, then even my setbacks are learning curves in a lot of respects. So
yeah,
just don't stop.
No, yeah, don't stop. I agree with that. And I love your earrings, by the way. I noticed they're bats.
Yeah. I haven't quite gotten past Halloween yet. I know we're in Christmas season officially, but
I'm
not there yet.
Way. Yeah, I'm the same way. It has to be Thanksgiving Day when I'm like, okay, Christmas. I can do Christmas now. But that's like a tradition I grew up with too. In regards to, like, that's why on Halloween weekend, Hallows Eve, like 10 p.m. Eastern, I started playing Halloween music, and I did it all the way till November 1st, because Los Muertos is on November 1st, and that's kind of like the spooky season, in my opinion. So I did a whole weekend of Halloween, and some people were like, "Oh, I'm listening to Christmas music." I was like, "I can't. To me, it's still Halloween." And I love Halloween. Like, I love Halloween. I love Christmas, but I have to have my Halloween fill before I get my Christmas fill. That's just me.
Yep. No, I get that.
Yeah. Yep. So that's why I was like, "Oh, I love her earrings. So perfect." Very.
Thank you. I saw them and I was like, I need these. My birthday's on Christmas, so I feel like my it's always been a little bit it's difficult because it's like I don't get to fully embrace the Christmasness because it's always been like my birthday at the same time.
Yeah. And some people get double gifts, but some people don't, I heard. Like for Christmas birthdays.
Yeah, well, I'm an only child, so I feel like I haven't had anything to compare it to.
Oh, that makes sense. My birthday is November 4th, so I'm like in between Halloween and Thanksgiving. But with me, when I grew up when I was younger, I always had Halloween.
Birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Me trying to like remember what day it is. I'm like, are we in November yet?
November 9th it is now. I know, it's like going by so fast. But with me, I always had Halloween parties when I was younger, and just try, like, I don't know, when you get older, it's harder to do parties like you used to. But I keep trying to do something, and especially with the pandemic, it just ruined everything. It's like, pandemic, really, go away. No more virus, go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do love Halloween.
I know. I made some cookies. I was like, they had little spiders on them. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
you go.
That's so cute. I want one. I was Velma though for Halloween this year.
Love that.
It was so fun. And it's an easy costume compared to some. Very comfortable too, I'll admit that.
Comfort is everything. I'm all about comfort.
Yeah. And even though I didn't really go out anywhere, I was like, I'm still dressing up.
I think, if you are doing it, like, I think you have to look for the positives in 2020. And if dressing up makes you like have a better day, dress up. Do it any day.
Yes.
Whatever gets you through.
That's what cosplay's for. You could do it anytime.
Anytime.
Just gotta figure out who I want to be next.
Yeah.
Did you dress up this year at all, or?
No.
It's okay.
I made some cookies which had little spiders on them, and we made meatballs with like eyeballs. So you do like little bits of cheese and then little olives for the eyes.
That's awesome.
I really love to cook, so for me that was like my favorite way to spend Halloween, and it was great.
I remember one year I did the mummy dogs, wrapping the dogs up in the Pillsbury. Yeah, with the little eyes with the peppercorns. It was good. This year though, we did do a mini Halloween / birthday party with some of the crew from our ship I told you about, and I made chili for everyone. A big ball of chili because it was so cold outside at that point. So we're getting chili, and everybody loves it and wants it again. I'm like, okay,
it's chili day.
Chili day. Yeah, it's a chili day for good for
Chili is
chili.
delicious.
Yes. Chili is perfect. Like, I put
For
cheese and
sure.
sour cream in mine. I admit. Yummy.
Mm,
I'm sorry, I'm
pretty good.
getting you hungry.
No, I know. I'm like thinking
Do you
about
have a
food.
favorite food? Do you have a favorite food that you like to eat the most, or
Honestly, there's not many things I won't eat. And I'm all about like go big or go home. And I really enjoy like extravagant cooking,
Oh,
which
no.
isn't, I just really enjoy cooking. And so we're always trying to like make fun meal ideas and whatnot. But
Get
yeah, like
creative.
anything that's tasty, I am all about. I don't know if I can pick a favorite. Do you
Hmm.
have a favorite?
Gosh, if I have to have a go-to that has everything,
Mm-hmm.
pizza, usually. Like, you could
Mm,
put anything on your
pretty
pizza.
great food, isn't it?
Yeah. Pizza, gotta do the pizza, but, I mean, like, there's
Yep.
like you, there's so many out there that's really good, and
Mm-hmm.
I do like food. It gets me in trouble sometimes. I think
Yeah.
everybody gets that
I've
way.
always like laughed about like having the too much gene. Like I'm not very good at like moderation or like doing things. I'm like, oh, pizza, whole pizza. We're eating a whole pizza. But that gets me into trouble.
I understand.
But you know.
But as long as you have a good metabolism, it's all good. I know somebody who could eat a whole pizza and he's slim, and I'm like, "I hate you. I hate you."
I know it's unfair.
Yeah, like, if I just have 2 pieces, it's like, "Here's some more weight. Here you go." I'm like, "No, you can take it.
Mm-hmm.
Take it back."
You're like, thanks.
Right?
I don't want that.
Now,
No, it's
when
frustrating
we
for sure.
when live concerts come back, is there a certain place you've
Mhm.
always wanted to, have a concert at and you haven't
I
yet?
mean, if there's no, I mean, realistic or not realistic?
Okay, first realistic and then non-realistic. How about that?
Oh, I'd really like to play. Oh, I've forgotten the venue name. Of course, I have. There's a venue here in Colorado. It'll probably come to me in a second. It's in Boulder. Oh, it's gone. It might come back. Unrealistic. I would love to play Red Rocks. That would be a dream. But I mean, honestly, at this point, I would love to go and see someone at Red Rocks or
Mm,
just anywhere. Anywhere would be really nice.
right?
Oh, I do SoFar shows. I don't know if you've heard of SoFar. They're like
No.
this company, I guess it's a company, and you buy a ticket and you don't know where it's going to be or who's going to be playing, but they have three
Mm,
artists, and so they'll pop up in like random locations like in the city, or they sometimes are at people's houses if people like want people there. And then you go and it's three different artists that you've never heard before, or probably never
oh,
heard
wow.
before. So it's super, super cool. And they are just the coolest audiences at SoFar. It was so much fun when I got to play them before the pandemic. And I would love to do one of those again.
Yeah, I just
Very
looked it
intimate level.
up. It says live music online
Mm.
and secret gigs. So, oh, it
Yeah,
has all
secret gigs.
its independents around the world are into it. Oh.
Hmm.
All
They're like
shows are
all
free
over the
and
country and
optional
like,
given. Ah,
mhm.
that's awesome, actually.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
gonna
really,
have
really
to.
cool. I actually went to one with a friend. I had two New Zealand friends here and they were like, do you want to come to a secret show? And I was like, yeah. And I went and it was just amazing. Like the environment it was such a cool space. It was in a motorcycle store, which was crazy.
Oh, nice. That's definitely
And
different.
I walked away and I was like, I am right. I walked away and I was like, I'm gonna play one of those. I want to. So I applied and they were very gracious and let me do some. So that was nice. But
Mhm. Yeah, now I'm like, I'm gonna have to check this out. Hopefully, I don't have to go far
you
because,
should,
like,
you should. Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, definitely. I might see about putting them on my page too. Links for people to check out.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I love learning new stuff, and this is something definitely new.
Oh, it's really cool, honestly. If you love music, it's such a
I
fun thing to
do.
do. And in
Mm.
most places, you get to bring your own booze. So if you like to drink, you can show up with a bottle of wine and friends and just have a great night of music.
I'm more of a hard apple cider person myself.
Oh,
I
do
can't
love cider.
and there's certain wines I could do. I'm very picky though,
Mhm. No, that's
because some of
fair.
them is too dry. Yeah,
Yep.
so
No, I get
I
that.
yeah, definitely will have to check that out. Um, let's see. Other than the 2, so far, what is another gig you've done that you enjoyed? Like, a concert that you've done before the pandemic?
I mean, I had some in New Zealand that would. So I was actually on New Zealand's Got Talent when I was
Oh,
15. I think 15. I
oh,
was a
nice.
semi-finalist in that, and my hometown has this. It's called the Bowl of Brooklyn. It's got like this big stage and then this big like grass runoff up the back. And I
Cool.
got to sing at Christmas at the bowl. So they had like a little festival there, and there was like
Oh,
17,000 people. I've never been
wow.
more terrified in my life, but it was the craziest experience, and that was fun.
I totally understand. I probably would be too. I have this, like I have this, I don't like auditioning. Like, I don't know, like,
Oh yeah.
I'm better than I used to be, but I used to croak under pressure,
Hmm.
like, "They're watching me, I'm being judged,
Oh
ah!"
yeah.
I hate that feeling.
It's scary. So
Yes, I mean,
scary
and
for
I've
sure.
heard that even if you're used to it, you still some people still get that way. They're like, "Nope, nope." I guess pre-show
I
jitters, they
literally
call it.
feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like any
Oh,
yeah,
no.
anytime I like perform, even if it's a really small gig, I get so nauseous. And it only
Mm.
lasts for maybe the first song or two, and then I like get into the swing of it and I'm like, okay, everything's fine, you're not gonna die. But the first little bit's scary.
Oh, I totally understand. Like, as I said, I've felt that before.
Hmm.
Like, I'm good when I have a part or
Hmm.
when it's already something I have to do. It's just the
Yep.
auditioning part, I'm like, "Ooh, okay." Because
There's a
sometimes
lot
I
of like
like to just get
unknowns.
lost.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
like because some people could be very judgy, and you're like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, you're like, "Okay, I have talent. I'm just, afraid to use it because I know you're looking at other things other than my talent." It's
For
kinda like
sure. And I
that.
think it's difficult, I think, because everybody music is so subjective, and I think
Mhm,
people like and don't like a variety of different things.
mhm.
And so that can be difficult because just because someone turns you away, it doesn't mean that you're not a good singer or you're not a good XYZ. It just might not be their personal cup of tea. That can be really disheartening to anyone kind of trying to, start out and go down that route. But
True. Now I do admit I've tried out for American Idol before. Like Charlotte, North Carolina, where I used to live,
ooh, how
they
was it?
had, like, their own personal
Hmm.
well, one thing I regretted was wearing heels because I was out there for, like, 8 hours
Hmm.
before they let me in, and I was one of the last bit they were gonna see, and I did, Annie
Hmm.
Lennox's "No More I Love Yous," which is a beautiful song, and I
Uh-huh.
was wearing a dress, and
Hmm.
my friend was like, "Oh, you'll be
Hmm.
unforgettable because you'll be wearing something nobody else wear," and then I was like, "Yeah, I'm also unforgettable because I hurt my feet." Like, I was in like, my feet did not like those heels. But once I
Heels are
got
so
in
uncomfortable.
yes, I'm like, "Maybe I shoulda wore other shoes and switched them out when I went in." It's like, you don't think about that stuff, but my
Yeah.
friend Stephanie was there as moral support,
No. Well, you also
and
don't think you're
then
going to be sitting there for that long or standing there.
no, I thought it was gonna be, like, quick in and out. Nope, mm-mm.
Mm.
But I was lucky to at least get in, and I didn't
Yeah.
croak or anything, and I did my piece, but deep down, I knew they already knew who they wanted because they were picking one
Hmm.
person in Charlotte to send to the official American Idol, but I was like,
Right.
"At least I had the balls to do it."
Oh, sure. For
Because
sure.
usually I would not have done that, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it. Let's see what
Yep.
I do. And I did better than I thought, but I know like there's always people out there better than me, and
For sure.
I knew they were looking for a
For sure.
certain look too. But
For
I
sure.
had fun,
I
at
think
least an experience. I think
oh,
it's the
that's good.
experience that does it. That makes it
For
really good.
sure. Well, I remember like being on television. It was so much
Mhm.
different than I thought it was gonna be, and it's very staged. And
Yeah.
so, like, they had me like running around with some stranger's dog, like on the beach, and they were like, you know, I was like, this isn't me. And I remember the producer was like, I wear Doc Martens that I've worn them ever since I was like really young. And he was like, you can't wear Doc Martens because somebody else is already wearing Doc Martens. And so they put
Oh,
me in this like really girly outfit. And I was like, this is just
mhm.
not me at all. But like, that's what they wanted for the show. So they are
Oh, wow.
picking things, you know, to
Yeah,
to do that.
I understand. I mean, I know TV is different. Um, like, at least with TV, you don't have so many people watching you, even though you have the people helping,
Mm-hmm.
stage everything.
For sure.
And I noticed I did better on
For sure.
TV than I did on stage at times,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I gotta find it, but I don't there's a old TV series when I was young called Steam Pipe Alley,
Uh-huh.
and I was in Girl Scouts, and we
Uh-huh.
were invited to be a part of the show. And I wasn't one of those from
Uh-huh.
my Girl Scouts that got up and did the actual, game show. I was, like, one of the ones cheering, but at the very
Mm-hmm.
end, everybody's celebrating, I went off in the corner and started dancing by myself, and I was looking at it going, "What was I doing?" Like, I was like, "What is wrong with me?" People would probably be like, "She's a little cray cray." And I was like,
Just caught up in the moment.
yeah, caught up in the moment, and I was really shy when I was younger. I'm not that shy
Mm-hmm.
anymore, but I was really shy, so I think it was, like, trying to stay away from the crowd too in my own way.
I get
But yeah,
that. I was
the
also incredibly shy. I used to go to like a dance school, and I remember like we would have our thing, and then I would just go sit like in a corner and read a book while everyone was like having lunch and socializing. I just was so terrified of everybody, but not so
did
much
you
now. I think as you get older.
did you have a favorite series or author you read when you were younger?
I really love Terry Pratchett, and I really
Mm,
loved Derek Landy.
okay.
I read a lot of books as a kid. A lot of just like get me out and into some fantasy world. That's where I would like to be.
I was there with you. Mine
Yep.
was Nancy Drew. The Nancy Drew series I was
Uh-huh.
addicted to when I was younger, and I would be in the corner myself reading
Hmm.
books, like, nonstop.
Yep,
I still love to read, but I haven't read like I
for
used
sure.
to. I used to be able to read
It's
3
hard,
books
I
at
think, as you get older.
yeah, it is,
Hmm.
especially when you have so much you have to do, and then I'm like, "You know what? It was
For
so easy
sure.
when I was young."
Yeah,
It's like
I
you kinda
know.
miss
I used to
that.
like sit in bed or I'd sit in my room and
Mhm.
like read, and mom would come and be like, could you do this, please? And I'd be like, yeah, I just like finished this chapter. And it would be like 4 hours later, and she'd be like, Stella, like, I'm reading.
"Oops, mom, sorry."
Get sucked in.
Yes, and I think that's what also helps imaginations when you're able to read and, kinda 'cause, like, I could picture this stuff in my head, and some people I know who don't like reading, they said
Hmm.
they're not able to picture this stuff in their head,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I had
So
this conversation with someone recently. I didn't realize that not everybody visualized because my brain
yeah,
is constantly like seeing a bunch of weird
mhm,
stuff, and a lot of
yeah.
people don't see stuff. I was like, whoa, that's odd.
I think that helps with the creativity, honestly,
Mm,
like,
yeah, it
"Oh,
might do.
we have a hello for you. Hi."
Hi.
Yeah, I think when you have that kind of dynamic, it helps with the creativity more. Um,
Hmm.
like, as I said before, it's one of those where sometimes I wish we had the machine on the head because sometimes you'll forget
Hmm.
something and then you're like, "Oh, I could just rewind. That would be perfect. But
For sure.
sometimes I'll just be reading something and then I'm like, oh, that would be good. Like um
Yeah.
with the podcast, I think I want
Mhm.
to go ahead and be like, okay, people, send your funniest moment animal pics or pics or
Mhm.
whatever. And
Mhm.
because I want to have us to have one where we could react to the videos together with the
Uh-huh.
audience and give our input or something. Because I've seen some
Mhm.
of the reacting ones and some of the stuff they send in is
Mhm.
adorable. And I'm like, puppy. Like, I love
Oh my
dogs
god.
and animals. I get in trouble when there's a dog around. Like, let me see if she's nearby. Oh
It's
no.
like, give me that puppy.
Well, my dog Izzy, she's I think in the rocker or somewhere on the floor snuggled. Because she's always
Uh-huh.
with me when I do interviews,
She's
podcasts,
coming.
anything I do. She like
Oh.
naps. So unless she like really wants attention from me,
Uh-huh.
then she'll be like trying to jump on me and I'm like, oh, okay, calm down. Let me get done with this first. Oh yeah, and Letitia is actually one of our
She's
DJs
like
who hasn't
zoning.
started yet. She's our tick fire.
Oh, cool. I have to check her out.
Yeah.
Me too.
She hasn't started yet, but she's gonna
Mhm.
be doing Latin music.
Oh,
'Cause
cool.
I don't know if I told you, our radio station, we try to bring all music together. Because you
Uh-huh.
know how so many stations focus on one thing and then you can't
For
find
sure.
another. Well, I
For
do,
sure.
as I said, I do the indie artists, but on Friday nights I also do like dance music. We have a
Uh-huh.
90s, a DJ for the 90s, a DJs for rock, a DJ for
Mhm.
um gospel music on Sundays, a DJ
Awesome.
for like romantic music, a DJ for I'm like think oh bluegrass music, another DJ for country
You
music.
got them all.
I'm trying like the auto DJ is gonna have a mix of different stuff, but I try to make
Uh-huh.
sure it's something that people know about. But definitely the shows themselves are their personality and take off with. So
Mhm.
yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, as I said, with the indie artists and doing these interviews is like the highlight of my days.
I
Let's
mean, it's
see.
so nice, honestly, to just talk to someone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
for having me because
Oh,
this is
you're
just a
welcome.
really nice chat.
I agree, especially with the pandemic. It's like I need to talk. It's time
I
to talk.
know.
Let's
To anyone.
see. Um,
I'm talking to the dishwasher and it's bad.
did you put eyes on the dishwasher yet? Because that's when it gets really, really bad. Because
That's
I've
when you
seen
know.
people. Yeah, that's when you know
I'm
you
not
crossed
there yet,
that
but I'm close.
threshold. Oh no. Do you have a cat or a dog?
Dog. Yep.
Aw.
Yep.
What kind of dog do
He's
you have?
really cute. He is a rescue, but we think he's Havanese. He's
Oh,
small
okay.
and fluffy. Yeah.
Aw. What's his name?
But they definitely Hank.
Oh, that's a cute name though.
Um, but they definitely bring a lot of joy. Animals do.
I think they
Um,
keep you saner so you don't
for
put the
sure.
eyes and other things on as much.
For sure. For sure. Because you can
'Cause
like
I'll be
talk to your
talking
animals and that's
yes,
fine.
I talk to Izzy all the time, and sometimes she'll, like, kinda turn around and give me a look. I'm like, "What did I do now? What's wrong? What do you need?"
For sure.
And I don't know if you've heard of, Izzy's a Basenji. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
No. What is that?
um, let me see. I'm trying to see if I have well, I could bring up info on the
Are they a
Basenji.
big or small dog?
They get 20, 25 pounds at most.
Okay. So
Uh,
they're pretty small.
yeah, they're pretty she's my lap dog. Alright, here's some of them. Now she's a long-haired version of them, so let me share
Okay.
this screen. Screen 2. Uh, there we go. They kinda look like this.
Oh,
They have the curled
so
tail in the
cute.
back. Now, Izzy, though, let me
Wow.
see if
I've
I can
never
find
seen one before.
let me go into my Yeah, you're looking at my Facebook page. Haha. Now I'm trying to go into my photos. Come on, photos. Where are you? Oh, maybe it's down here. Because I have photos of Izzy too. Like about, oh, here we go. Photos. Your photos, albums, might be under albums. Yeah, you're gonna see a bunch of me. I think it was a mobile upload. I have a bunch first through. Oh, here we go. Here's one picture of her. That's the Izzy.
Oh, she's so
Yeah,
cute.
she's my cutie patootie. Like that's when she's in the office with me, she'll pass out in a little chair. Oh, she heard me say her name.
Oh.
Right now, she's in the rocking chair in front of the desk. I'm trying to see if there's any.
So adorable.
That's her giving me the look like, Mama, give me attention. So yeah, that's the Izzy.
So
Yeah,
cute.
I know. Animals, I think animals are like the best thing, honestly. Without it, and
They
of
are.
course
They truly
my mother-in-law has 2 cats that we have in the house too. It's Maverick and Goose. And they're orange tabbies. Goose I call butthead for a reason, mind you. Because he likes to try to wake me up at like 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, sometimes earlier, with like batting at me and trying to scratch at me. Also, he likes to mess with me. So I'll be petting him. All of a sudden, he'll turn around and bite and start attacking me. I'm like, you're butthead. Now, Maverick is the cuddle one. He likes to snuggle. And I think snuggles are great.
Oh.
Sweetie.
Yep.
But yeah, animals are the best.
Snuggles are much better.
So, in regards to music, let's see. Well, actually, let's go off music a little bit. Is there a place, like another country you've always wanted to visit you haven't yet?
Ooh, I really want to go to Ireland.
Me
We have a
too.
family friend there.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I've
and I just every Irish person I've ever met has been the loveliest human being ever, and the scenery seems amazing, and I would just really like to go.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. And I actually have Irish and Italian in my background, but of course, as you can see, I'm more of the Irish side, the pale skin. My sister's got the tan skin. I got the pale. But also found out my grandfather still has family in Ireland because he was adopted.
Oh, wow.
And I would love to go and meet them. But ever since I was young, I always wanted to go to Ireland. I never knew why. And now I'm like, oh, it's calling to me for a reason.
For sure. For
So
sure.
that's like one of the places that's number one on my list, honestly. Ireland.
For sure.
I'd be so excited
I
to
actually
go.
had a trip. I had a trip booked to Italy actually this year.
Oh, wow.
So that was going to be in, I think, August. And at the start of the year, because we'd already booked it, I was really excited.
The pandemic.
And we were like, maybe we'll still be able to go. And then it got closer, and I was like, it's not going to happen.
Not this year.
So I sat like at my table eating pasta, drinking wine, and like watching a montage of Italy on my laptop. And I was like, that's what we'll just have to do.
For now. I mean, it could, in a couple of years, you could go. Yeah, just for now. Yeah. It's amazing what this pandemic has done, though. It's like a whole new ball game. But, you know, they say the Spanish flu had the same thing happen. And it took 2.5 years to get out of the Spanish flu. So, hoping it's not that long, though.
For sure. I think it will run its course. I know. I'm worried that like everyone's like 2021, and then we're going to get to 2021 and nothing's going to have changed, and everyone's going to be more depressed. You know, it's like maybe just don't set the bar too high for 2021.
I know, in my head, I'm already like 2021, come on. And then I'm like,
I know,
oh,
like
we don't know what's gonna happen yet. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a hard one. So
Mhm.
bizarre. But, what do you do?
True. Just sit,
But
as I said, take it
wear a
day by day.
mask and stay home.
Yeah, and that's why, like, staying home, at least there's Netflix.
For
Um,
sure.
you could game online now with people, which I think
Hmm.
makes it a lot better than it used to be.
For sure. For sure.
And, just like, oh, for my birthday, since we couldn't get together with my family because they're an hour and a half away from
Hmm.
me, we did a Zoom birthday. So we all got on Zoom and, you know,
Hmm.
and I think that's better than nothing.
Yep. The first, yeah, for sure. For sure.
But
But yeah.
let's see. So mm, trying to think of I had another question for you. My brain just went beep.
It's so funny.
um um okay, so in regards to the music and everything you do, what
Hmm.
ins what 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 does it take for you to figure out a good music video for it? Like, I liked Spooky, that, like, I felt like felt I mean, and yeah, I know it's rare to get a good music video these days, especially when you're stuck at home.
Hmm.
But I do know that
Hmm. Thank
there's
you.
some yeah, I do know that there's some where they just put a montage of their fans together that sent them stuff,
Hmm.
that fit the,
Hmm.
like, video
Oh,
now. There's so many things you could still do, but
for
I
sure.
know the process of just figuring out what works for the song is kinda
Hmm.
is it takes a process pretty
For
much.
sure. I think for me, when I write a song, I kind of have like a story or like a visual, kind of like a movie of the song in my head, so kind of where it is. And if I had all the money in the world, then all of my music videos would be that story. But a lot of them are a little bit too complicated and out of my reach. um, and especially like we've done all the music videos this year in quarantine, so it's a little bit difficult to
Yeah,
find like locations and things like that. But kind of, we have a green screen, so
I
you
love
can do some
green
fun stuff with green screen.
yeah, definitely.
And I do all the like editing and things myself, which is something completely new to me. I'd never done that before this year, so I'm still
I'm
not
still
great.
learning. Yeah, I'm still learning too, so
Exactly.
you're not alone. Because I do
Good.
my sometimes with my TikToks, when I was doing
Uh-huh.
the intro to the podcast and all
Hmm.
this stuff, I'm like, "Okay, snip here, snip oh, no, let me do this over." It's like a whole new
Right?
process, and you're like, "Did I do this
Yeah, and like
right?"
the more you learn, the
Mhm.
more you realize there is so much more to learn. So it's been
Yes.
fun. I enjoy it. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, and if I had endless budget, I think I would love to make some really like cool, like intricate, fun
Mm.
ones. But at the moment, I'm just rolling with what we can do. So
This is when you wanna win the lottery.
right?
Forever, yeah, like, I have so many, like, ideas
Yeah.
for when I win the lottery, honestly, like, other than paying off debt, I would,
Hmm.
like, travel, I would do
For
more
sure.
with the radio station, podcast, all this that promote more.
Hmm. Yep.
There's a lot that can be done, but it's like, when you're going by
For sure.
what you have, you need to, like, see what works
Hmm.
best and kinda tone it down a little bit for now,
For
and then
sure.
later you can make it go blow up.
For sure.
Yeah, it's
Hmm. I think,
I
yeah, no, that's a really good point.
mhm.
And I think, like, I'm proud of what I've done. Is it gonna win a film festival award? Absolutely not. But, I think it's a little bit more
Mhm.
interesting than just I don't know, watching my face sing something. So,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
yeah, and it's fun. They're really
Mhm.
fun. I do enjoy them. It's a kind of a different element than recording, so it's always fun to do something a little bit different.
True.
Mhm.
Are you planning on doing any songs, Christmas-like songs this year, or
Like, I did actually write a couple of Christmas songs, but I think I got to it just a little bit too late. So I was kind of looking at the time frame I would need to get it done by, and then all the other stuff, the album artwork and the videos. And I was like, I think I'll go next year. Next year there will be a Christmas song, but this year, no.
Well, yeah. I mean, as I said, it is hard with the whole pandemic situation, but at least you have that going. So next year you could actually maybe work on some good videos and things.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my nose is itching now. I'm like,
oh no, you're fine.
Let's see. What? Okay. For the new album,
Mm-hmm.
would you like to do another interview before it comes out and kind of maybe explain it more? Or
yeah, I would definitely be down to do that. It's a little bit different than, or at least I'm predicting it's going to be a little bit different than the music I put out this year, because I'm doing it with actual musicians. So I'm,
ooh,
yes,
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So it's been like we work in a pretty, so I work with a producer who's part of the production company. And so I kind of come up with the song concept and flesh out all the parts, and then I give it to him, and he might add some stuff and change some stuff, and that's kind of how we work, and it's great. But it's also really nice to work with other people and to have their creative input and to have people that play instruments and do their thing well. So I kind of wanted the album to be more of like a band-driven album, so a little bit less electronic-y. And yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. Like, I'm tempted to be like, okay, here, look at my lyrics and see if you can help me.
Send them over.
Sweet. You might be able to come up with the music to it because, like, as I said, like I have stuff in my head, but it's just like getting it down.
For sure.
And it's always harder that way.
I think especially if you like don't have like the software, like I use Logic, and I don't know, it's been a couple of years, but when I started, I had absolutely no idea. Like I had ideas, but I didn't know how to translate them or even how to kind of give them to someone else and be like, this is what I want, but they obviously can't hear inside your head. And so I think having like a program to work with or even an instrument to like help you express your ideas is quite helpful. But
yeah, my instrument is my voice.
yeah.
But other than that, I did download something on my laptop to help with trying to do music, but I'm still trying to learn it. I'm like, I think I did something wrong because I'm trying
confusing.
Yeah, because it's like you put this here, and try to put. Wait, no, that didn't work. Let's try this again.
Watch so many tutorials.
Oh yeah, and like with everything I've been doing and trying to get together, I'm like trying to find that time to do all the tutorials.
For sure, there's only so many hours in the day, you know. But
yeah, it goes by faster than people think. Like when I was younger, I don't know about you. When I was younger, I'd be like, "Come on, time is going so slow." Now that I'm older, it's like
it flies.
Yeah, it's already November, and it's already almost the end of. What is it? Monday night? It'll be Tuesday soon. And it's like amazing, like how fast it goes when you get older. Like I feel like I don't have time for myself anymore. It's like I remember when I had time for myself. Nope.
Lovely concept.
Yes, definitely.
I also feel like when you were young, or when I was young, I was constantly like irritated that adults weren't doing enough. I was like, can we go do this? Can we go do this? Can we go do this? And they'd be like, wait, I just need to sit down for a second. And that's like being like one of the biggest things with aging now. I'm like, I could nap at any moment of the day. I'm not even that old.
It's like napping is just like the highlight of your day sometimes. It's like
just sometimes doing nothing is a really nice thing to do.
Watch TV, just lay back, relax. It's kind of sad, but it's true.
It is.
The older you get, it's like that's just kind of where you're at.
Yep.
You want to do more too, but then you're like, and you get to the point where you're like wants and needs, and then what what you should do and what you are able to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the weighing thing. But when you're
Sure.
younger, it's like I want to do everything. I don't care. I'm gonna
Yep.
go out and
You have
that,
so much
you know,
energy.
yeah, just Izzy is 12 years old,
Uh-huh.
and for a dog, she still has way more energy than me. I'm like, "Are you gonna share that with your mama? Come on." Bring it this way.
Give it to me. I need it.
Yeah, and now Maverick and Goose are just one-year-old kittens, so they're, like,
Oh,
everywhere, and then I'm like, "Okay,
constant.
I need that energy." But because they're
Maybe
just
not all
wild.
of it, but some of it.
Yeah, give me half of it, and then you guys will be okay.
For sure, for sure.
But, yeah, it's amazing, like, what we did when we're younger and what we are now, and then when we're younger, we wanted to get older, and then now we're older, we're like, "Can we turn back time a little bit?"
100%,
It's
100%.
like a total you don't realize until it happens, pretty
No,
much.
of course. And I think it's one of those things too that, like, I mean, youth is wasted on the young. And if you could go back with the knowledge that you have as an older, more mature person, you could probably get a lot more stuff done, or at least put
Yes.
yourself in better positions when you, because it's hard when you don't really know. Not that young people don't know what's going on, but I think
Yeah.
as you get older, you just, even like your wants and what, like when I was 18,
Mhm.
I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Like I knew that I wanted to do music, but I didn't know what that could look like. I didn't know how to get there. I didn't, none of it made sense. Whereas,
Yeah.
now I kind of, there's a pathway that I think I'm
Mm.
following.
Well, it's like I felt the same way because when I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher.
Hmm.
But getting older, it was like that whole thing, even though I went to school to try to get into it in college, it was
Hmm.
like now teachers don't get the credit they deserve or paid. I was like, "That's
No.
probably someplace I don't wanna be now." And
Mm-mm.
then when I first started being a DJ with another
Hmm.
radio station, as I said through that chat, IMVU, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love doing this,"
Hmm.
because I could speak and be myself without
Hmm.
worrying about being judged and everything. They just heard my voice,
For sure.
and I was like, "This is great," and I love music,
For
and I
sure.
started to get back into all that
Hmm.
stuff, and then,
Hmm. That's awesome.
um yeah, and then there was a while where I kinda had to get away from it, and I
Hmm.
missed it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I didn't even know I had the option to DJ because before the online and all this, where we can now do all what we can
Hmm.
and do online radio stations, I was oblivious. Yeah, I was.
For sure.
And
For sure.
now that podcasts are big and all this other stuff,
Hmm.
I'm like, there's so much stuff I could do just online
Oh, yeah.
based.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And growing up, that was not an option.
No. No.
So now that it's an option, it's like you could go in many directions now.
Hmm. For sure.
So
Which is
I
awesome. I
I'm
think there's a lot of like opportunities that
Mhm.
maybe weren't as accessible to people before, or maybe didn't
Yeah,
even exist before. Like YouTubers weren't a thing when I was growing up.
yeah,
Like they
so
were
it
maybe
was
started, but like I, still remember like phones that had dial-up internet that you didn't use because if you pressed the internet
mm.
button, it cost you like $30.
Gosh, I remember dial-up.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Are
"This will take
you
forever."
on the phone? I want to use the computer.
Yeah, it got to a point I remember when we were younger, when computers start coming out and there's the
Hmm.
dial-up, my
Hmm.
mom got a second line,
Hmm.
and we were able to just play certain games on it, but it was more of the green screen stuff, you
Yep.
type in what you wanna do, and I'm like, now it's, like, amazing what you can
Oh
do,
my
like
God, it's crazy.
yeah, like, cause I also do gaming now,
Uh-huh.
with I have a YouTube for that and
Oh,
a
awesome.
Twitch account. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's something to do on the side, see what
Uh-huh.
happens. But I've been playing Among Us, which is, like, a big favorite lately,
Uh-huh.
Phasmophobia, and that is creepy at times because you're a ghost hunter looking for the ghost and what kind of ghost it is, and let me
Right.
tell you, these ghosts are evil.
Yeah.
Oh, and look, this is one of my DJs. This is DJ Matt J Dog. Yeah,
Aw, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yep. So as he said, gives me a chance because he hadn't DJ'd before,
Mm-hmm.
and we brought him in, and he loves it. He's the
I
one
think
I
everybody
brought.
like deserves an opportunity. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
sometimes people don't realize that they can be really good at something because no one ever gives them a chance to try. And
Oh
that,
yeah.
it's awful. But
Hmm.
it's nice
Yeah.
when that does
Yeah.
happen, when you do.
But I've been making new friends out of it, like
Mm-hmm.
other game streamers, and
Mm-hmm.
of course my DJs. A lot of them I knew through IMVU, not all
Uh-huh.
of them. And then we've branched out since then. But DJ Mad J Dog does Rockin' Frequency. He does the
Cool.
rock music when he gets on.
Uh-huh.
He's Wednesday nights, so in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I'm
he's
like, what day
awesome.
is it?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's still Monday for
Yeah.
him. um, but yeah, I mean, I'm loving it, and it's getting to the point where it's, as you said, getting that passion, not
Mm-hmm.
stopping, doing
Mm-hmm.
what you can. That's what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like, let's see, 7 DJs,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 2 more that are training. I mean, it's all like
Keeps
coming together.
growing.
Yeah,
That's
which I love.
awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rock and mad frequency, all forms of rock. But yeah, it's I love it. I just love it. And then as we were talking about poetry and music and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, I found this place where you could put your poetry in to win contests, and I'm like,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Definitely worth a
So
shot.
I mean, geez, yeah. Especially during these times, you gotta do what you
Mm-hmm.
can do.
For sure. For sure.
I would love to, because I've won a poetry contest once before when I was in high school or middle school. One of the, I think it was
Awesome.
high.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think, especially with the pandemic now, those who want to go for their passions have a better chance right now.
For sure.
Because, I mean, it's like if you lose a job and you're still
Mm-hmm.
looking, go try to get something else going. With
100%.
me, it's like this is a side thing until, well,
Mm-hmm.
it's a side thing, but to me, it's more of the real thing, like more full
Yeah.
time. But once it
For
gets
sure.
really going, it's just gonna,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
For sure.
With
For
your
sure.
music, it's, as I said, you have amazing music, and I know,
Thank
especially,
you.
um, I'm gonna be going, like, still, as I said, you're indie artist of the month of October, but I'm still gonna be playing your music every Saturday.
Thank you.
You're like, people listening, Estella Dawn, here you go. And
I
I know,
really, really
like,
do appreciate it.
you're welcome. Oh, and of course, Jeremy puts this, with Janine's help, I'm wanting to start up a other podcaster station. Yeah, he's gonna be having the man cave, Fusion Pop's man
Yeah.
cave, where it's gonna be sports, and then we're gonna do a
Uh-huh.
gaming one too.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do, and
For sure.
mm, until, like, the next song goes out too, I mean, you have your YouTube
Mm-hmm.
where I keep track of, and I noticed other than new music, you could always, like, just update people and,
For sure. I've never been very good at social media. It's definitely something that I have like
Mhm.
resisted for a really long time. It just like it's not something I naturally gravitate towards. Like I don't know, putting yourself out there on the internet's kind of scary to me. But in the last
Oh, yeah.
year, I've like had to because I'm like, if you want to do music, you have to do it. You have to
Mhm.
like at least try and put some effort in,
Yeah.
and it's not as scary as I originally thought it was. And I've connected with a lot of really, really nice, creative, awesome people, and I think the internet is such a wonderful tool in that respect.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got people like from Uganda that are like, I just listen to your song and I love it. I'm like, what's in Uganda? Like, I thought it was just in my
Yeah.
bedroom.
Well,
um,
I know, like, with our station, since it's online, it's throughout the
mhm,
world, I'm connected to, um, another station that's in the UK that
mhm,
helps promote us, and I gotta get his stuff again because I forgot I need to update that on mine. And then there's like the servers we go through is through UK too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now through this, since I don't know if you could tell, it's through YouTube, but it's also through
Mm-hmm.
Facebook Live. I'm streaming as
Uh-huh.
well.
Oh, cool.
This, yeah. So StreamYard,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to go through more than one type of live,
Uh-huh.
you could do it through there. And honestly, I like it a lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
got the idea from there's two geek girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was inspired about the podcasting because I was trying to figure out how to get started, and
Mm-hmm.
I was a guest on theirs a couple of times, and they use SteamYard. I'm like, ooh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there, if you love geeky stuff, I would say
Mm-hmm.
head over to them as well because they're fun.
Check them out.
Yeah, they do cosplay and all that.
Cool. I love cosplay. I think it's
I
great.
know, right?
It's so creative, and it just looks
Mhm.
like so much fun.
Oh, it is. Another cosplay I've done is Penelope Garcia from Criminal Minds.
Uh-huh. Nice.
Yeah, it was fun doing that. My husband loves that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so it's, I mean, there's a lot of, how do I say? There's a lot of ways to do it where you have kind of shortcuts.
For sure.
So instead of you having to click, oh, Facebook Live, YouTube, all this,
You can
and
use this and then like
you
put
can
them
use this and
together.
connect them
That's
all.
really handy. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you ever need help, just let me know because I'm also tech support.
Yay. I'm technically challenged.
It's like everybody with the station and everything come to me, and even my household, my
Uh-huh.
husband, everybody comes to me when they have issues with the computer. So,
Help.
well, I
Like,
did.
don't bang it. It doesn't work.
Yeah, one of the actual okay, one of the actual my brain just went farting, brain fart. In regards to tech support, one of the actual jobs I had was with tech support with the internet.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And I learned so much from that. And then
Mhm.
I taught myself other things. And I also
Uh-huh.
have a friend who does more of the hardware with computers and knows also the internal
Uh-huh.
before having to do hardware. So sometimes I'll go to him if I'm stuck. But
Right.
I know how to update the drivers and do all this
Mhm.
stuff, so it helps, especially during these times when we're online.
For sure, yeah. I think any of those skills that you can acquire never go unwaste.
And of course, Jeremy is like, if you have any other cover songs, I may showcase them on my show. I do a part where I bring attention to cover songs.
I don't have any what do you say, like recorded in like on Spotify or anything like that, but I do have some on just videos on the internet. I don't know if that really counts or not. I don't know if you can play those.
I'm able to.
But I appreciate the offer.
Right? But I already have some of your songs, of course, so I could let him know about that. Yes. And then I'm trying to think what else. If I haven't asked yet. I know there's so many questions I had on my brain, and I think I asked most of them anyway.
So I feel like my brain does that where I like have a bunch and then I just don't, I can't remember it, and then it'll pop back like after the fact, and I'm like, oh great, this is helpful. That's okay.
Do you have a studio in your home, or do you go to a different studio when you're recording?
Yes, we're currently kind of sitting in it.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's very simple.
Simple,
Good
yeah.
simple
I need to
fashion.
upgrade my stuff just a little bit.
It's definitely handy.
Oh yeah. Right now you just see the wall, but I have two screens, two computer monitors, and well, I have a laptop on this side, but I might redo this side. I have the headset that glows.
I know, it's super cute.
Thank you. I want to at some point
comfortable.
I'm probably at some point I do want to get one of the mics, professional mics. And I know, like, right now I'm doing the simple stuff until I have
Mhm.
the means to upgrade, because
For
I
sure, for
really do
sure.
wanna upgrade.
Mhm.
Um, I would love to upgrade. I would have too much fun with that, actually. It'd be like redesigning everything. Here we go, and
For sure.
here and here. And, like, my laptop, I wanna get a, that side monitor that you could
Mhm.
get now, for that. So there's a lot on my brain. I bet there's so much you're like, "Okay, when I get to this level, I could do this and this too."
Oh, sure. Yeah. Many, many things, but that's okay, you know. Hopefully time will allow, time and means, but
As we said before, we're just waiting to see what happens with the pandemic.
for sure, for sure.
And go from there.
Mhm.
So, but, is there any questions you have for me?
My brain is like mesh right now.
No, I
I'm
totally
like,
understand.
I'm probably gonna message you afterwards and be like,
Oh, no worries. You could always message me anytime and we could go over things. As I said, if you need help with ideas, setting stuff up, I'm here. I love doing
Thank
that.
you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that so much.
Anytime. Oh, do you like Baby Yoda?
Okay, I haven't seen The Mandalorian yet. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna see it.
But Baby Yoda is just too adorable. And he,
So cute.
yeah, he talks.
Oh my god, it's
I,
amazing.
my husband got it for me for our anniversary, and I was like, "Yay, Baby
Oh,
Yoda!"
what a wonderful gift.
Yes, that's my Baby Yoda. I
Oh,
call him
everyone needs a
Buddy.
baby Yoda.
Oh my gosh, they sell so much now.
Mm,
I When
I'm
I was talking
sure.
about to Jez on Carmeria, and he was
Mhm.
like, "Baby Yoda!" He was so excited. That's like my little thing
So
now. I'm
cute.
like, "Baby Yoda, here you go." So, but yeah, but for anybody listening, make sure, as I always say, um, follow Estella Dawn with Estella Dawn Music. She does have Facebook. She has YouTube, Spotify, correct?
Yes. And
Um,
iTunes? I think iTunes.
iTunes. Okay. And of course, her music is wonderful. If you
Thank
need,
you.
buy her merchandise, buy her music, follow her, like her, love her. And when she's able to do concerts again, definitely go see her concerts.
I'm just praying for the day.
I think everybody is.
Oh
It's
my
like get
god, I
out.
know.
I kind
Mhm.
of miss going out and shopping for Christmas, but I've been doing
Bullshit.
online shopping.
Mhm. Yep.
I don't miss doing it on the like from Thanksgiving on. I will not. I will
For
do it
sure.
before. I do
Yep.
it before.
You're very onto it. I'm like 3 days before Christmas. Here we go.
I
Just
learned,
ultimate stress.
yeah, I learned because I worked retail before.
Mhm.
I saw
You
when the
know.
crowd
You know
came,
it.
and I know when the good sales really are.
Yep. Yep. That's key right there.
Yeah. But I wanna thank you, Estella, for this interview and getting to know you more.
Thank you so much
And
for having me. You've been
of course,
wonderful. I've enjoyed myself.
uh, I enjoyed it too. And of course, as I said, once your new album goes out, would love to do
Mhm.
another interview and see how
Yeah.
things are going and
Mhm.
get into that music too.
That would be amazing.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Of
And
course.
if everybody's listening in, oh, I'm gonna get the hiccups all of a sudden. Yay. Um, as I said, this is produced and presented by Fusion Radio. But if you want to hear more Estella Dong, other than going to her social scene like Facebook and YouTube, we also play her on Saturday nights on our indie,
Which
well,
is very
uh,
kind.
yeah, Saturday local vibe. And of
Mhm.
course, the indie artists we play all day Saturday. So
Mhm.
definitely check her out. And thank you again.
Thank
And you
you.
guys enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.